Yeah. Yo, somebody told me that this would make a great story to tell on my YouTube page. And the subject is I was 10 years old making hundreds of dollars per week from a website, an anime website. Specifically, it was Dragon Ball Z. See, back in 2000 to 2003, from the ages of like 9 to 14, something like that, I was into webmastering, building websites. This is before social media. This is before even black people in the hood had internet access. The only people in a regular urban community that had the internet would be like one person, and that would be like the kid who has, working parents and stuff like that, and they can afford the internet. Back then, it was AOL. Then eventually, it turned over to DSL. Then it turned into like the cable internet, cable like what we have now. But yeah, in 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2003, I was actually making an income from 9 to 13 from a Dragon Ball Z website. Dragon Ball Z, of course, is a cartoon. Japanese, you had to buy special episodes on tape because the only Dragon Ball Z that was actually shown on television at that time, it was Cartoon Network, was a certain kind of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z it was different series, just like you got different series of that show that 50 Cent has Power, and you have different installments, different branches. Dragon Ball Z was like that. You had Dragon Ball GT, and you had another like series of Dragon Ball Z that most people didn't have access to. So what I would do is I would provide the episodes of Dragon Ball GT to the Dragon Ball Z fans, and all they had to do was pay like $10 or something like that, and they could download the video and watch the episodes. I had all the episodes of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT. So back in 2000, if you didn't want to go to the video store and spend $25 on a tape, or and sometimes you couldn't even find these tapes because they only released the American ones. The Japanese ones, a lot of times they weren't here. You couldn't get them in like the Blockbusters or the electronic stores that sold movies. So basically, my thing was I had to connect. I met this dude online, and he was in Japan, and he sent me all the episodes, uploaded it into my computer, had it on a hard drive. So I'm uploading it to the site, right? And I'm charging people from all over the world to download episodes of Dragon Ball Z, episodes that they can't get, because sometimes, like I said, it was only released in Japan, blah, blah, blah. Your video store might not have everything. So these kids were able to download whatever episode from me for $10 an episode. So I was bubbling. And back then, the way that you would get hits, the way that you would actually advertise your content or your website was different because we didn't have social media or anything like that. You would pay to advertise on other people's websites. So the anime community is what it was called. A lot of people had Dragon Ball Z sites, different animes, different sites that had pictures, information about the show. And very few were like entrepreneurs because it was a bunch of kids building websites about cartoons. Me and my friend Wisdom were the only ones who were entrepreneurial enough to say, hey, instead of just making a fan site about how much we love the show, we can actually profit off of this. And that eventually led to me actually making websites for people, because making Dragon Ball Z websites, I learned webmastering, I learned HTML, hypertext markup language, I learned PHP, I learned all these different things, Adobe Photoshop, all of this in like the year 2000. So about 03, 04, I was a beast. And I started making websites for people. Give me $500 and I'll build you a website. It was a different time in 2002, 2003, even 2004. Making a website was more difficult. You didn't have a lot of websites that basically give you free websites, like these website managing things. You can download something and it'll build the site and manage it for you. No, you had to go to somebody like me who knew how to use Photoshop, who knew how to use Dreamweaver, and craft your site for you, make your images and all of that. And those were the good old days, man, because that was 20 years ago. And I was making money through PayPal in order to, you email me, yo, I want this episode. I see that you got it on your website. I want to watch it. PayPal me $10. Bam, I'll send it to you through your email. And I was generating hundreds of dollars per week, probably like 600 a week from 9 to like 13 years old. And it was something, man. Me and my boy Wisdom, we were killing it back then. And it was cool because back then the internet really wasn't popular. It was popular, but it wasn't really popular like that. It wasn't like culturally important. So it was like an underground thing. And I was there. I was there at that point. I was a kid, but I was doing my thing. Peace.